Hi, this is Merilee, and this is the final week of my 6-week blogging challenge. And I just wanted to go through just the 7 things I learned from the challenge. So the first thing I learned about was time blocking and just setting aside just so many minutes out of each day and doing what I need to do. I wasn't perfect at it, and there are times where I just had to recommit to the time blocking, and it turned out to be a challenge, but I was able to do it. The next thing I learned was getting out of your comfort zone. I have to be honest, I have a hard time being in front of the camera. I've mentioned that in some of the past videos. It's not easy for me, but I think with practice, you gain more confidence, and it's something that I will always struggle with, but I feel like it's gotten easier. The third thing I learned about was not being so hard on myself. We've heard of the term imposter syndrome, where you feel like you're faking it and you're not actually doing a good job. That's kind of how I've felt throughout the process of just doing my blog and being so hard on myself and feeling like I'm not doing a good enough job, even though I had a lot of good feedback from when it went viral and being on TV news stations. I still felt like that I still wasn't doing a good enough job. And so, and I felt that way through this challenge as well, is that, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fail, everyone's gonna see that I'm just faking this. But no, it's something that it's all in your head, and you just have to learn how to push all those negative thoughts aside and know that you're doing fine. And so I've been telling myself that I'm doing fine. And so it's something that you definitely have to get better at, and know that it's all in your head. So the fourth thing that I've learned, it kind of goes along with the imposter syndrome, is not everything has to be perfect. I am such a perfectionist. This is how I am at my job. This is how I am at life, is that I want everything to be just so, and everything has to be timed out just perfectly. And that doesn't always work, because life happens, and everything that you try to plan for yourself doesn't always happen. And so you have to take that in stride, and to know that being imperfect is more than okay, and sometimes even better. Because sometimes I've learned throughout this process, I've learned a lot more by not being perfect. The fifth thing that I've learned was more about WordPress and the plugins that WordPress has. So I've talked about setting up your site with a WordPress theme, and I've also learned more about plugins. So one of the ones that I've talked about was Akismet. So that was filtering out spam messages that you don't necessarily want on your site. I mean, of course you don't, as well as blocking out the negative comments. And so if I am seeing anyone trolling my site and has any negative things to say, I don't have to put that on my site. There's a way that you can approve all the messages, so that way I can keep this a kind community within my site. Another plugin that that I'm glad that I have is called Yoast, Y-O-A-S-T. And what that does, it helps for SEO. And if you don't know what that is, it's search engine optimization. And so what Yoast does is it lets you know on each of your posts how good it was as far as SEO goes. So for example, if I didn't have a lot of tags, if I didn't tag my posts with several different categories like bullying or awkward years, just anything you can think of that would go along with each story, I try to put in there. But if I don't, then Yoast lets me know in a color-coded way that, oh, it's red, you didn't, so I wasn't doing enough to make sure that there was good SEO on each of my posts. And so it also, another color coding it has is yellow, which is, it's kind of caution where it's kind of okay, but you can do better. And then green is like, yep, you did everything that you could to optimize your posts. So luckily I saw a lot of green, so that's good. I've been learning with that. So those are the two things that I would definitely recommend for plugins for WordPress. So the sixth thing I learned was about nonprofits. So this is something new to me, is that when I've done my site in the past, it was just all about my blog. But because I have the platform that I do, and because I have an audience, I feel like it's my responsibility to share nonprofits that I feel are important, and to get the word out there, and to be a better impact than what just my blog can do. And if there's a way that I can get people more involved, that's something that they can do. So I really found that these nonprofits were very important, and if you haven't checked them out yet, go back to my previous posts and click on the links and find something that you're passionate about and that you would like to help with these nonprofits. And the last thing that I learned was recommitting. So like I had mentioned in my first video, I started this blog back in 2013, and it was great for a couple years, and then it just fell flat. And so there were a lot of things that got in the way, just life and not having very many submissions. And so this 6-week challenge was something that helped me recommit, because there are a lot of things out there that I'm still trying to learn, and this helped get me into gear and to start again. And now that I've had more submissions, it makes me hopeful that this can stay afloat. I need all the submissions that I can, and so that's what helps keep my blog going. So I really hope that all of you, if you haven't already, submit a photo and your story. I would love to hear and read about it. I know that everyone around the world would love to hear about it too. So help me recommit by getting my blog out there, share with your friends, and I'm happy to have you along on the journey with me. So thanks again for following with me. This means so much to me to have you listen to my story and my challenges that I've had. And I encourage all of you, if you have a passion project, I recommend starting a blog about it. Get your voice out there. Get other people's voices out there if this is something that you want to do, or if it's something more of a personal project. Just start with one post. Just get out there and start a passion that means a lot to you. This has meant so much to me, and this won't be the last that you've heard of me. I will continue to post, and I hope to hear from you. And again, thank you so much. Appreciate you following along, and until next time, I'll see you around.